Think about this for a second. Someone spends 40 minutes choosing an outfit for their dog. Tiny boots, a matching sweater, a Halloween costume that coordinates with their own. And from the outside, it looks slightly unhinged. But psychology says something completely different. What's actually happening in that person's mind is far more layered, far more human, and far more revealing than anyone standing outside it could ever guess. Let's break down the creepy psychology behind people who dress pets like humans. 1. Anthropomorphism is intelligence. Psychologists suggest that the tendency to project human traits, roles, and identities onto animals, a behavior called anthropomorphism, is not a sign of confusion about reality. It is a marker of a highly active, socially intelligent mind. The brain that sees a personality in a pet, that imagines their inner world and responds to it as real, is exercising the same cognitive muscles used for empathy, narrative thinking, and complex social reasoning. While most people see a dressed pet and think too much, they're actually witnessing a mind operating at a sophisticated level of imaginative emotional engagement. But this is where it gets interesting. 2. The nurture instinct unleashed. Research in caregiving psychology reveals that dressing a pet activates the same neurological reward pathways triggered by caring for a dependent: the rush of provision, the pleasure of creating comfort, the deep satisfaction of expressing love through action. For people whose nurturing instinct runs strong, a pet becomes the perfect recipient, endlessly in need, never resentful, always present. Share in comments. Have you ever noticed how much genuine joy radiates from someone dressing their pet, not for anyone else, but just for the act of it? That joy isn't silly. That is a caregiving brain doing exactly what it was built to do. And there's another layer to this. 3. Control is creative expression. Studies in personality psychology show that people who dress their pets tend to score high in both openness to experience and need for self-expression, traits linked to creativity, aesthetic sensitivity, and a desire to shape their immediate world into something personally meaningful. This isn't control in the anxious sense. It is authorship. The dressed pet becomes a living canvas for an identity that wants to be seen, celebrated, and played with. While others suppress that creative impulse entirely, these individuals let it run, and something in that freedom is psychologically healthy. But psychology takes this even deeper. 4. Belonging through shared identity. Social identity research reveals that coordinating with a pet, matching outfits, themed costumes, seasonal wardrobes, is an expression of the human need for belonging and shared narrative. The pet becomes part of the person's extended self, a living symbol of their world, their humor, their love. Do you relate to this more than you expected? Because this behavior isn't about the pet being human. It's about the person saying, "This creature is mine, and I am theirs, and I want the world to see that bond in every way I can express it." 5. Play is a sign of psychological health. Neuroscience research confirms that adults who maintain the capacity for play, genuine, unselfconscious, slightly absurd play, show consistently stronger markers of psychological resilience, creativity, and emotional well-being. Dressing a pet is play in its purest form. It is delight without utility, joy without justification. While the world demands seriousness and productivity at every turn, these individuals carve out a pocket of pure, uncomplicated fun, and their pet, unbothered and warm, is their willing accomplice. That is not immaturity. That is a person who has protected something essential about being human. So next time you notice someone sliding tiny socks onto their cat or debating Halloween costumes for their goldfish, don't write them off as eccentric or excessive. They might just be someone with extraordinary nurturing depth, a richly creative inner world, and the rare psychological freedom to love out loud without apology. If you found this video valuable and learned something new, do us a favor, like subscribe to Tiny But Wise and share it with your loved ones. Now your turn. Drop a comment with the next topic. We read every comment, and the best suggestion gets a shout out. See you there.